Namaste, yogis. My name is Abigail Redman, and this is part 2 of a series that I'm calling Yoga Every Day. So in this part, we're going to start seated in a chair, and I do have a few other props that I'll be using today. I have a yoga bolster and a yoga blanket and a strap, and also a block. So find a chair. If you don't have a chair that's easy for you to move or that can back up against the wall like mine is, you can do this seated on the floor as well. But if you have a chair, it'll be useful today. So come on and sit in your chair and back yourself up and take your block either the skinniest way wide or the medium way wide behind your head. You want to take it right behind the back of your skull. And so depending on the size of your chair and the proportions of your body, you want to feel like you're sitting upright with good posture, both feet flat on the ground. You want to feel that block right behind the center of the back of your skull. And then from there, just gently, like you're trying to get a little bit of a double chin, push the back of your head into the block and just gently draw your throat back. Now, drop your shoulders down, bend your elbows, and turn your palms up like you're holding a platter. And you're going to keep your elbows pinned into your sides. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and back out through your nose. And now as you inhale, widen your hands and squeeze your shoulder blades together without letting your elbows move away from your sides. Exhale, narrow your hands back in and relax your shoulder blades. Inhale, widen. Keep your head gently pushing back into the block. And exhale, narrow in. Good. Keep going with your breath. Inhale, squeeze your upper back, widen your hands. Head pressing back, exhale, narrow in, relax your upper back. We'll do a few more rounds here. Try to squeeze your two shoulder blades towards each other as evenly as you can, side to side. Keep the rest of your spine nice and long, a little bit of length in your tailbone. Let's do 2 more. After that second round, we're going to come back in and hold for a moment. So squeeze again, hands go out wide, elbows stay in close, head presses back, shoulder blades squeeze in together. Keep breathing deeply, nice and slow. Good, do 1 more breath like that. And then relax and drop your hands. Take your block out. We'll set that to the side. Come on up to stand. And you can move your chair off to the side of your mat. You want to have a wall close by. So come on over to your wall and stand with your hands a little lower than shoulder height. So we're going to do a plank at the wall with an option for some chaturanga push-ups. So you want your hands as low as you can without bringing the heels of your hands away from the wall. And you're going to stand either closer to the wall or further away based on the proportions of your arms, but also your body's strength. Okay, now take a deep breath in, push the wall away, spread your shoulders apart, hug your belly in, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, lean in toward the wall. You might tap your forehead and push away. Good, and then we'll do another one. And we'll do 1 round on an in-breath and 1 round on an out-breath. So if this is feeling pretty easy for you, you can take your hands a little lower or take your feet back a little farther. Or you can take your hands to your chair and do your push-ups a little lower to the ground. But this practice is about building strength and building flexibility. So we're not trying to rush, not trying to move past our body's limitations at the moment. Let's do 3 more. And the last one. Oh, good. Step away from the wall and give your arms a little swing. Good. Now, step your feet about shoulder distance apart. Take both arms out and up and grab your right wrist. And as you exhale, side bend over to the left. And then inhale, come on up and grab your left wrist. Exhale, side bend over to the right. So move a few times side to side. Take your time. breathing slowly and deeply. And let's do one more. To the left and finish off with a little side bend to the right, holding that left wrist. Then come on up, let your arms come down, give them a swing and let them cross a little bit in front and behind. Good. Nice little warm up for our upper body. So now we're going to shift our attention to our lower body. Now, potentially you have a chair on one side of you and a wall on the other. And we're going to use these two, if necessary, to help you balance. So the back of the chair to you on one side, the wall on the other. If you don't need any help balancing, no worries. So this is a nice little lower body warm up. Okay. So you're going to take a deep breath in, stand up tall. And as you exhale, shift your weight into your right foot, bring your left knee up into your chest. Keep your chest nice and lifted. Inhale, lower back down. Now we're going to take that left leg forward and up. Could be low, could be high. Lower it back down. Good. Now, take that left leg straight out to the left and take a moment and look. You want to make sure your toes and kneecap point straight forward and not up toward the ceiling. And then also, so let's lower that one back down. Try not to tip over to the right if you can help it. So take it out and you're holding on to your support if you need to. You're not holding on to it if you don't need to. Lower down. This next one, we're going to curl in heel to butt, little hamstring curl, and back down. Take a big breath in and then go straight back with the leg without letting yourself tip forward very much. Lower down. Good. Now keep breathing and we're going to swing the leg around and in front and over to the right and around behind and over to the right. In front and to the right, behind, in front and the right, behind. Good. Last one in this series, you're going to bend your knee, call these tree taps. Now widen your knee, your foot could be low or high, but you're going to tap your foot, left foot to the back of your right leg, and then tap and release, tap and release. You're externally rotating, tap and release. Do 2 more, tap, tap. Good. Put your weight on both legs and just shift your weight a little side to side. If you're not in the habit of standing on one leg, you might feel a little burn. If you need to step over to your wall now to give yourself support for your second side, go right ahead. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, stand on your left leg, right knee into your chest. And then lower down, inhale. Exhale, right leg straight out and up. Keep your chest lifted, lower down. We'll do 2 rounds of out to the side. Let's hold this first one for a moment and make sure your toes and knee are pointing forward and you're not leaning too far off to the left. Then lower down, take a big breath in, do another round like that. Exhale. And inhale. Good, curl up, heel to butt. And lower. And take it straight back without letting yourself tip forward. Use your belly, hug it in. Lower down. Now keep breathing. We're going to swing around in front and behind, toward the left as we go. 2 more, front and behind, and in front and behind. And now some little tree taps. Bend your knee, foot low or high, tap the back of your leg and relax. Widen the knee, tap the back of your leg, widen and tap, widen and tap. 2 more, tap and tap. Good. Shift your weight a little bit side to side. So this is helping us build up some balance, some strength within a range of motion in our lower body, and some mobility. So it's really nice. Let's step back over to the right if you need that right side support. We're going to move now a couple of times as a flow. So big breath in. Exhale, left knee to chest. And lower down. Inhale straight out in front of you. And lower down. Exhale out to the side. Lower. Inhale out to the side. Lower. Exhale, heel to butt. Lower. Inhale, straight back behind you, belly stays in. And lower. Keep breathing, swing it around to the right and in front and behind. Do 4 rounds, in front and behind, in front and behind. 5 tree taps. Tap the back of your leg, tap as you widen your knee, tap. 2 more, tap. Tap. Big breath in, put your weight on both legs. We do 1 more on this side, knee up. And down, out in front of you, keep breathing deeply, and down. Out to the side, and down. Out to the side, and down. Heel to butt, hamstring curl, and down, and legs straight back behind you, and down. Swing around in front and to the right, and behind and to the right. In front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind, and 5 tree taps. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whew, let's get off that right leg. If it burns a little bit, that's a good sign. Step over to your support on that left side if you need to. Take a big breath in, get ready, and exhale, right knee up and down. And inhale, right leg forward and up and down. Straight out to the side and down, and out to the side and down. Exhale, heel to butt and down. Inhale, straight back behind you and down. Keep breathing in front, swing it around to the left and behind, in front and behind. 2 more and 1 more. And now 5, tree taps, 3, 4, and 5. 1 more, big breath in. Exhale, knee to chest and down. Inhale, straight leg forward and down. Out to the side, down. Out to the side, down. Heel to butt and down, and straight back behind you and down. Swing around in front toward the left and behind toward the left. In front, behind, in front, behind. 1 more, in front, behind, and bend the knee. 5 tree taps, 3, 4, and 5. Whew. All right, give your legs a little shake. All right, if you need to step to some support, we're going to do a quad stretch now. Go ahead and step to some support as needed. I'm going to pick your right foot up and either use your hand to hold on to that right foot or ankle, or go grab your strap and make a loop if you can't quite reach your foot. And we'll start to breathe here. Bring your heel in and lengthen your thigh toward the ground and pull your belly back. Maintain your nice long posture there. Take some nice slow deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Keep breathing. Nice little leg warm up there that we did, but one that didn't hold us in one place too long. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly let go, stand on the right leg, pick that left foot up, grab the foot or ankle, hang on. If you need that right side to turn and hold your chair, hold the wall, go right ahead. And think about your posture, belly in a little bit, chest stays lifted. Start to elongate your left side thigh and reach your kneecap toward the floor. And 1 more deep breath there. Good. Let that go and give your legs a little shake. So we're going to step out wide, and you're going to make your feet parallel and take your hands to your heart. Okay, we're coming into a forward fold here. So if your hamstrings are particularly tight, you could turn and face your chair, turn the seat of the chair to face you. We're going to take our arms out and up, inhale, and then from there hinge from your hips and take your hands to the floor if you can reach the floor, to your chair if you need to be up a little higher. If you need to put a bend in your knees, go right ahead. Now flatten out your back there. We're going to stay parallel to the floor, or as close as we can come parallel to the floor. You're stretching your hamstrings. Put a little bit more weight into the balls of your feet so your heels get lighter. And we're going to add a little spinal twist here. Okay? So keep your right hand down and inhale. Twist your chest to the left. Take your left arm up. Exhale, bring that left arm down. Inhale, right arm up just to the right. Exhale, bring it down. Side to side, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep going with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 1 more round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Take a big breath in, flare your elbows back and in towards each other, tighten your ribs, put a little bend in your knees. On your next exhalation, come on up to stand. Good. Bring your feet in, give your legs a little shake. And we got 1 more standing pose we're going to do here, and we're going to use our chair 1 more time. Okay, so for this one, you want to have a wall between you and the seat of your chair. And you're going to grab a blanket, potentially, to pad your chair. That's just in case your chair is not too comfy, because we're going to put our knee on it. Okay, this is a psoas stretch. It's kind of like a lunge. So you're going to hang onto the wall, hang onto the back of the chair, and take whichever knee, in this case it's my left knee, so I stood with my right side facing the wall, left knee comes to the chair. Now I'm going to scooch my right foot forward and bend the knee a little bit until I can lunge. I want to start to feel a stretch down the front of the left hip and thigh. Okay? So from there, you may need to continue hanging on one side to the other. If you can let go first of the chair with your left hand and take your left arm up by your left ear. And that lift of the arm is going to help you take your stretch a little bit higher, just out of the front of the hip and thigh, a little higher as well. If you can let go of the wall with your right hand to right hip, we're going to stay and breathe for a moment. If you're not getting much of a stretch, right foot goes further forward and you bend that right knee a little deeper. Let your pelvis come down and forward. If you're getting too much or your low back feels compressed, back yourself off. Your hips backing up a little bit. If you have balance, you may start to lift your gaze and look up. Really breathe deeply. Use your lower abdominal muscles to help to support your low back as you stretch out the front of your left hip. Almost there now. I got about 3 more breaths. Good. And bring your left arm down. Hold the wall and the chair. Come on off. And turn around. And now your right knee comes to the chair and your left foot scooches forward. And hold the back of the chair and the wall as you get stable. And bend your left knee a little bit. It goes out further forward if you need to bring your pelvis down and forward to get a deeper stretch. You should feel the front of your right hip and thigh starting to stretch out. If you can bring your right arm up to your right ear, great. Want to feel a deeper stretch down inside, deep inside your belly on the right side, and then down across your front hip and thigh. And if you can let go of the wall and work on your balance here, then left hand to left hip. All right, so stretch up through your right arm. Lift your right side ribs. Hug your lower abdominals in. Maybe as you stay here, your pelvis starts to lower a little bit more, and maybe not. Breathing deeply. Last couple of breaths here. Good. And then hold the back of the chair, hold the wall, bring yourself out. Let's move our blanket off to the side and move our chair out of the way too. Okay, so we're done with the chair. We can get that out of the way. All right, so we're coming down onto our mat. The first thing we're going to do is a downward facing dog, but we'll end up on our hands and knees. So if you need to put some knee padding down before you come down, great. Okay? So hands to your heart, and as you inhale, both arms out and up. And exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, and walk your hands out until, step feet back perhaps, until you can line up your hand-shoulder distance and your feet-hip distance, bow your head, and start to push down with your hands, reach your hips up and back, and stretch out your spine. Now, if down dog is a bit of a challenge for you, feel free to lower your knees to the floor and start to work just a little bit of strength here on hands and knees before you attempt this full down dog, okay? But if you're feeling strong, broad through your shoulders, you want to externally rotate your upper arms. Should feel like your inner arms are turning towards your outer arms. And then push down and forward. The most important part is keeping your spine flat. So bend your knees if you need to. But if you can straighten those legs out and keep your spine flat, reach your heels toward the floor. Let's take a nice, slow, deep breath. We're almost through. And put your knees down and find your way to a tabletop position. From your tabletop position, we'll come into cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your chest and sit bones. Inhale. And exhale, tuck your tail, bow your head, round your upper back. Back and forth with your breath. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Keep on going there. And one more round of cow and cat. Good. Come to a neutral spine. Inhale and Take your right leg back, lift it up. Take your left arm forward. Take a deep breath in. So I call this diagonal stretch. Exhale, back to hands and knees, sometimes called bird dog. Left leg back, lift it up. Right arm forward, inhale. Hug your belly and front ribs in. Exhale, bring it down. And side to side with your breath. Inhale. And inhale. So take it out on your inhalations. Come on back down on your exhalations. Now this next round, as your right leg comes back and your left arm comes forward, hold. If holding is easy, I want you to do some little tiny circles with your arm and your leg. Try to keep those teeny tiny. They're going to throw you off balance just a little bit. Little circles. Keep hugging your ribs in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Left leg back, right arm forward. Get a deep breath in. And out, and if you feel stable, little tiny circles with your whole thigh bone, your whole upper arm bone. Okay. Good. If you're feeling stable here, keep on going. With your ribs in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come on down, let's have a seat. Good. Take your legs wide. Awesome. I'm going to do a little outer arm stretch. Take your right arm off to the right, inhale, and as you exhale, bring your arm across your chest and try a straight arm forklift. So bend your left elbow and forklift around your right forearm. Really straighten that right arm out and then pull to bring the arm across your chest. Try not to turn into a twist. Keep your chest centered and your shoulders dropping. If that doesn't give you much of a stretch, you could pat yourself on the back with the left hand with the right hand and pull across with your left hand. Take hold of the upper arm, pull across, and you may need to change the elevation of that elbow. Lift it up, lower it down a little bit, see where you get a good outer arm, outer shoulder stretch, shoulder blade stretch. Drop both shoulder blades as you're here. Take a couple more slow, deep breaths. And after your next exhalation, let that go and take some alternate shoulder rolls to the back. Change the direction. If you're uncomfortable sitting here with wide legs, feel free to bring your legs in to cross legs or prop up on a blanket or a bolster. Take your left arm out, inhale, and exhale. Bring that arm across. Let's try that straight arm forklift. So you forklift with the right arm, drop your shoulders. Really straighten out your elbow and try not to twist. And that might be great. That might be the place you get a stretch. Or you can now bend that left arm, take hold with the right hand just above the elbow, pull across. Get your left hand just on your upper back there. And again, drop your shoulders and gently pull with your right hand. Again, for that outer arm, outer shoulder, in between the shoulder blade and the spine. Feeling of release. One more deep breath there. And let that go, and we'll take some alternate shoulder rolls here. And change the direction. Good. And stretch your legs out wide if you change them up. And widen your seat a little bit if needed. If you have a big stretch, you might lean back and push the floor with your fingertips. Look for that inner thigh hamstring stretch. If you don't have much of a stretch, let's hinge straight forward until we find a little bit more feeling of release through the groins, the inner thighs, and the inner hamstrings. The wider your legs go out, the more you're going to feel this in your inner thighs. The narrower your legs, the more you'll feel it at the back of your legs. So you can adjust that as you need to. Trying to hinge from your hips to create this movement rather than rounding in your back. Let's take one more slow, deep breath there. Good. Walk it up and bend your right knee, bring your right heel in, that right knee stays wide. Take the back of your left hand to the inner leg and push against it a little bit. Turn your chest to the right. Take your right arm up to your right ear, inhale, and now we side stretch. Could be just a little bit of a lean. We might get forearm to thigh or slip it down inside. And keep gently pushing against your inner leg with your left hand or arm to keep your chest turning a little bit to the right. Really keeps you in that side bend and out of a forward fold. Nice, slow, deep breaths here. Let's do 2 more. Good. Come on up out of that. And we'll bring that right knee in and take it out wide and bend the left knee and bring it in. If you have any trouble with your knees bending and coming in, you might use a little block to prop up outside your knee, or go out with wide legs again, or bend both knees if you have trouble taking one leg wide. So lots of options. Let's take the back of the right hand inside the right thigh, right knee, push away, turn your chest to the left. Left arm up, inhale, and side stretch, lean over. Lean until you find something. Side body, side ribs, outer arm, armpit. If you don't find something quickly, you'll lean in, forearm to thigh, or even forearm inside the thigh. Stretch away from your left hip. Keep applying just a little bit of pressure. Right hand or right arm into that inner right thigh. So you keep turning your chest a little bit to the left as you stretch over that right leg. Two more nice, slow, deep breaths here. When you're ready, come on up. All right, bring both knees in, and we're going to take a boat pose. Your feet come out in front of you. Depending on your body's proportions, you might have to go out wide with your knees. You might be able to come in narrow, maybe somewhere in between. Reach your arms out in front of you and sit up nice and tall. Really important to have your low back come in for this. Take a big breath in, start to lean yourself back a little bit, and you'll start to feel kind of the vibration of your core engaging to stop you from falling over backwards. So if you can lift your feet, you might just hover them, you might lift them high, and see what you can do, and drop your shoulders, keep pushing your hips down and lifting up through your side body. Good, breathe. A little trembling is normal. Try to relax your neck as much as you can. And do your best not to round your back. Almost there. You may need to set your feet down, lift them up, set them down, lift them up if you're having trouble finding balance. One last breath. And your feet are down. Good. Come onto your belly. Come on over and come onto your forearms. Interlace your fingers for Sphinx pose. So, elbows push down gently. Chest lifts up gently. Your chin might stay low or it might lift up a little bit. You have to see where your neck feels comfortable without being compressed. Okay, so for the moment, relax your legs a little bit, but do see how much of your core you need to use. So if you feel any kind of unpleasant cinching in your low back, start to hug your abdominal muscles in more and push your pubic bones down. If it feels good to relax, this can be a nice little release for your low back. Letting that natural curve of your low back return to your body. So you decide some nice slow deep breaths here. Let's take 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to add in a little cat-cow motion that might turn into a forearm plank. We'll just have to see how it goes. So, the cow part of the motion is staying in Sphinx. Take a big breath in. And the cat part is look down, push the mat away, and start to tighten your chest. Pull your ribs away from the floor, pull your belly up. If you can lift your hips, do that. If you want to go deeper, tuck your toes under, lift your knees up. If you lifted your knees down, pelvis down, open up your chest, arch your back. Then exhale, push away, look down, tighten front body into back body. Lift as much as you can. So back and forth with your breath. If knees down are the best way to go, then knees are down, you're just lifting your hips. If even lifting your hips feels like a little bit too much, you can work just the upper back and the belly hugging in. Okay. But if that full forearm plank feels good, great, you decide. Let's do 3 more. And last one. Good. And bring yourself all the way down. Rest on your chin or forehead and take your arms back alongside your body with your palms touching the mat. Okay, take a deep breath in. We're going to do a locust pose here. Hug your belly in and away from the floor as you exhale. Now inhale, lift your head and chest. Lift your legs up. And if you can, lift your arms and squeeze your upper back, great. If not, those hands stay down. Exhale, lower back down. Squeeze your belly in. Do it again. Inhale, lift up. Keep your chin a little bit low so the back of your neck stays long. Exhale, lower. Keep lifting and lowering with your breath. Last 2. And 1. Good. Lower down, make a pillow with your forearms if that's comfortable. You can rest on your forehead again or turn your head to one side. Bend both knees and widen your knees a little bit. Sway your feet side to side. Just like a little windshield wiper. Finish up your next sway, and then narrow your legs and straighten them out. We got one more move here. It's a cobra. I'm going to do it moving again. So hands now, palms come next to your side ribs, so back behind your shoulders, elbows in close. Rest on your chin or forehead again and hug your belly way back. This time your legs get really active on the floor. So push the tops of your feet down, lift your kneecaps away from the floor. As you inhale, curl up a little bit, use your back muscles, pull your shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower down. So if that feels comfortable and you want to start to use your arms to assist, you can push into the floor and curl up a little bit higher. You want to see what works for your back, for your neck. You want to be able to use your core enough so your low back does not feel compressed. And draw your throat back a little bit, that little hint of a fat neck that we've been working on, and then from there maybe start to lift your chin. Let's do last 2. And 1. And then lower all the way down. Make your pillow with your arms again. Bend your knees. Widen your knees again. Sway your feet side to side. You might turn your head in the opposite direction than you did last time if you chose to turn your head to the side. This time we'll add some circles. Circle your feet around 3 times in one direction. And 3 in the other. Good. Relax, lengthen your legs. From there, we're just going to roll right on over onto our backs. You want to have a block and a strap within reach here. If you need support under your head, perhaps a little pillow under your head, fine. Add a little pillow under your head. If not, you're flat on your back. Okay, so we have the block and the strap within reach. And from there, bend your knees. And we're going to do a few pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, rock your pelvis forward and arch your low back away from the floor. Exhale, relax first, then squeeze your belly down, lengthen your tailbone, and flatten your back gently into the floor. And start to move back and forth with your breath. Inhale to arch, and exhale to flatten. It's a very simple movement. It's not meant to be extreme. It should feel gentle. Can be a really great massage for your low back. It's a great mobilizer for your pelvis. It's a little bit of core work too, which is nice. So we're going to build on that in just a moment. Let's do 2 more rounds. Good. Now, come to a neutral spine, grab your block. Take your block between your thighs, the skinniest way it goes, up close to your groin a little bit if you can, and interlace your hands behind your head. Now this is a little core movement. It has 2 components, so you could do one or the other or both. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale first, just like the second part of our pelvic tilt, hug your belly down, lengthen your tailbone, and see if you can lift your feet off the floor. And if you can, pull your knees in. Now, the most important part is as you lower your feet down, go slow and don't let your belly pull away from your low back. Try not to let your low back pull away from the floor. Take a big breath in. That's part 1. Part 2, keep your feet down, squeeze the block, and hover your head and shoulders off the ground. Really tighten your ribs in. Lower back down. So you could do one or the other of those, or do them one at a time, or if you feel strong enough to do both, you're hovering your head and shoulders and your feet, squeezing the block. And as you lower down, you want to keep core control all the way down. Okay, so take it slow, really meant to be simple so you can pay attention to that feeling of hugging your belly in as you lower your feet, hugging your ribs and chest in as you lower your head and shoulders. Let's try 3 more. And last one. Good. Take your block out. You can set back to the side. Take your arms to a cactus shape or out wide to a T shape on the floor and widen your feet to the edges of your mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, sway your knees to the right, chin to the left. Inhale, back up. Knees sway to the left, chin to the right. And back up. Go side to side with your breath. Good. Let's do one more round. Knees to the right, chin to the left. And knees to the left, chin to the right. And come on back to center. Okay. Bring your arms down by your sides if you can. Bend your knees and bring your feet in pretty close to your hips, feet parallel. And we're going to do a little bridging now. Okay, so come back to your neutral low back curve. Take a deep breath in. Squeeze your butt, lift your hips up, hug your belly in as you go up. Take a deep breath in. And lower back down, exhale. So let's lift and lower now. Lift on the inhalations. If you can lift higher, you push into your upper back and lift your chest toward your chin. Try not to drop your chin into your chest. You want to keep a neutral low back curve as you go. Lifting and lowering a couple more rounds. And on this next round, we're going to lift and hold. So come on up, lift, hold, and breathe for a moment. Narrow around your waist. Try to really tighten in between your frontal hip bones. Want to feel your glutes and hamstrings working, but not clenching. And let's take one more deep breath there. And bring it down. Good. If you can hug your knees in, go ahead, rock side to side. And then from there, we're going to come on up to sit just briefly so we can set up for closing in on our final poses here. Now, I have a bolster here. If you don't have a bolster available and you do have a pillow or couch cushion at home, that could work just fine. I also have a blanket that, depending on the size of your body and the tension in your legs, you may have to build your bolster up a little higher, put a blanket on top of it. So that is optional, up to you. Now you need your strap. So we're coming on down to our backs, and you want your bolster and or blanket or whatever you're using for support here to the left, about hip height on your mat. So come on down onto your back and send your strap around the ball of your right foot. Okay, we're going to start with a hamstring stretch here. So I like to wind my hands around each end of the strap, arms long, shoulder blades on the mat. And then if you're comfortable, you can straighten your left leg out. If that bothers your low back, keep that left knee bent. And we're here for just a moment, breathing and relaxing. If you've got a lot of hammy tension, you may choose to bend your knee and back that off a little or a lot. Okay, so you can absolutely be here with a bent knee. If you get a big stretch with a bent knee, go for it, bend your knee. You don't want to feel like you're overdoing it. And check in with your low back. You want to avoid, if you can help it, avoid your low back completely flattening into the mat. You're trying to create some hamstring flexibility with your neutral low back curves in place. Relax your neck, let your head drop back. Keep breathing deeply. We're going to add just a few little pulses, if we can, to help deepen this. So take a deep breath in, and if your knee was bent, your pulse will be a little straighter leg on your exhalation, and then a deeper bend in your knee on the inhalation. If your leg was already straight, try pulling gently your toes toward the wall behind you, and then backing off as you inhale. So use an exhalation to gently deepen, and an inhalation to back the stretch off. So whether that's bending and straightening, or backing off and then pulling with your strap, foot toward your head, toward the wall behind you, either one will do the trick. So keep going a few rounds. Should not feel aggressive, it should be really slow. Let's do two more if we can. Good. Now, bend your left knee. Hold the strap in your right hand and shift your hips a little to the right. So kind of like a little bridge, hips to the right. Straighten your left leg out again, and you're going to roll over onto your left side and aim your right leg for this pile of bolster and blanket. Now hold the strap as close to your foot as is comfortable. You may even scoot your left shoulder blade to the left a little bit. Reach your right arm off to the right. So we've got a spinal twist, an outer hip IT band stretch going here. So this is a big pose. Okay, the more your foot angles down and toward the foot end of your mat, the less the stretch. And the more your foot angles up toward the wall behind you, and more your left hand gets closer to your foot, the deeper the stretch. Okay, so you could, if you were capable, take hold of that right foot with your left hand, but if not, that's what the strap is for. Turn your chin off to the right a little bit if you can. Just relax there a little bit and breathe. Try to relax and let that outer right hip and thigh let go. Breathing deeply. Got 2 or 3 more breaths left here. Good. And now put a little bend in your knee and rock back onto your back. Take your strap off. Shift to center. And hug your knees in if you can. You can rock a little side to side if you like. And then find your way up so that you can either switch props to the other side or swivel your body around, as I'm doing because my wall's too close for me to move my props. So now you want that bolster and whatever else you have on it off to the right side of your mat, about hip height. Okay, and we'll have our strap. As we come down, we'll take it around the ball of our left foot. So come on down, stretch your left leg up, straight as you can until you get a stretch. Could be a bend in the knee. Right leg, if it's comfortable, stretches out long. Perhaps wind your hands around the strap once or twice so you can relax a little bit. Shoulder blades underneath you. And we start with just a passive stretch, so relax and breathe. And focus on the rise and fall of your breath. And be patient, let a little time pass here. We're going to take another slow, deep breath. On your next exhalation, if your knee is a little bit more bent, try to straighten it out a little more. If your leg is straight, try to pull your toes toward the wall behind you. And then back off a little bit, inhale. Deepen a little bit as you exhale, just a tiny bit, just a nudge, and back it off, inhale. So your body will let you know when it's too much, so pay attention. Kind of relax where you can relax. Notice as you continue these pulses, a few more rounds, really should start to notice either a little more freedom here or getting a little bit deeper each time you exhale. It's a good feeling. Let's finish up with 2 or 3 more. Last one. Good. Now, bend your right knee for a moment and shift your hips to the left, away from your bolster pile. Now, straighten your right leg and roll all the way over. Hold the strap with your right hand now, and you might scoot your right shoulder blade a little further to the right if you need to. Reach your left arm to the left, and see if you got your leg in the right place. If you need to scooch that bolster pile down at an angle lower toward the foot end of your mat, that will lessen the stretch. Up a little higher increases the stretch. Okay, so you decide where you need to be. The closer you hold the strap toward your foot, the more traction you'll create, the deeper the sensation you'll feel. So back off if you need to, or get in a little closer if it feels good. Trying to spinal twist at the same time. Let your left shoulder drop toward the ground and turn your chin to the left and breathe deeply. Relax your outer left hip and thigh. Make sure that right hip and right thigh are relaxing as well. And we're almost there now. 2 or 3 more slow, deep breaths. After your next exhalation, put a little bend in your knee, take your strap off, roll back onto your back. Okay, hug your knees in. If you can, rock side to side. And then from there, rock on up. We've got one final pose. We're going to scooch a little closer to our wall if we can. You're going to take your feet toward the wall, your head away from your wall. And closer you get to the wall, the deeper the stretches. So it's a pigeon at the wall. You're going to bend your knees, take your feet to the wall, scooch your hips in or away, and then see if you can cross your right ankle above your left knee. So the closer your hips to the wall, the more sensation of stretch you're likely to get. If you're really flexible in your hips, you might have to use your right hand and push your right thigh away from you, or pick your left foot up and hold on. But if you scooch in close enough, the wall should do the work for you. And hang out and breathe. Everybody's body is a little bit different, so if it feels better to change the angle of the cross and go mid-shin or even all the way across, fine. If this classic reclined pigeon shape feels good, you're getting a good stretch, just hang out here and breathe. Almost there on this side. 2 more nice slow deep breaths. Good. Uncross your legs. You can stretch them up the wall for a moment if you need to, and wiggle them around or point and flex your feet. And from there, we'll come into our second side. Bend your knees, cross your left ankle above your right knee. Your 2 hips can be different, very different. So if you need to scooch farther away or closer on this side, go ahead. Arms in a comfortable shape, and if you need to use your left hand to push the left thigh away, or both arms to lift up and hold on behind your right thigh, fine. So find a stretch you can live with, and then relax and breathe. Almost there now. Last 2 deep breaths. Good. All right, let's uncross. Wiggle your legs out for a moment. If you enjoy relaxation with your legs up the wall, you could stay here or scoot your hips closer or further away. But if you're ready for a more traditional relaxation, let's scooch or roll away from the wall and find your way to stretch out on your mat. Since I have a bolster here available, I'm going to use it behind my legs, but you can do your thing. If you need support under your head, grab a blanket, make yourself a pillow. Your body really needs to be comfortable and warm in order to fully relax. So put in a little effort. You can do a little neck roll with your blanket. See what feels good. Bring your arms to your sides, turn your palms up. When you're ready, settle back let's take a nice, slow, deep breath in through our nose, out through your mouth. And then close your eyes and start to focus on the rise and fall of your breath. Watch your breath coming in through your nose and moving back out through your nose. Feel your chest and your rib cage rising and falling. Feel your belly rising and falling. A little bit at a time, feel your body beginning to relax. Feel your fingers and your toes relaxing. Feel your hands and your feet relaxing. Feel your arms and your legs relaxing. Feel your hips and your shoulders relaxing. Feel the curves of your spine relaxing, especially your low back, back of your neck. Also your upper back, your shoulder blades. Your chest and your belly relaxing. Feel your neck and throat relaxing. Feel the hinge of your jaw relaxing. Feel your third eye, the space just between your two eyes, relaxing. Feel the crown of your head relaxing. Feel your whole body and your mind relaxing. If you have a little extra time to spend here in Shavasana, relaxation, feel free. There's nothing more luxurious than a 15-20 minute relaxation. When you're ready, start to wake up your hands and feet by moving your fingers and toes. And take a really deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. Do that again now, but reach your arms overhead, legs long. Another really deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. And then bring your arms down, bend your knees. If you can roll to one side, roll on over and take one more slow, deep breath. When you're ready, however you can, find your way up to a seat. Take a moment, sit up tall, stretch your arms out, inhale, and hands to your heart, exhale. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today, yogis.